Okay, now that we've got our tools installed, let's go and install Clutter from the source code. And I'm going to show you how to build it with Yarn and then run it with HCDev. And then I'm also going to show you how to use Yarn to be able to edit the UI whilst also running the back end all at once. So let's go and get the source code. So we need to go to holochain Clutter and do the clone. And I'm going to drop it in my apps folder, so I'll start up a terminal at that location, git clone, Alright, source code is there, let's cd into the Clutter folder and have a look. Right, so we've got a DNA folder as expected, but you'll see there's no UI folder. That's because we're using React now, and part of the build process is going to create that UI folder. So what we'll do is cd into the UI source folder, which is where we're keeping our source, and we're going to run yarn install. That's going to use that package.json file and download all of the dependencies that we need. Oops, and remember in an earlier video we installed Node and NVM. Well, because I installed Node 5, that's the default version for some reason at this point, so I'm going to use NVM use 8, which was one of the later ones we installed, and do yarn install. Alright, so now we have all the dependencies that we need. So if we do yarn run build, this will create us a built minimized version of React, and it also creates the UI folder as part of the process so that we can run HCDev web straight over here. So if we go back up one and do ls, you'll see we now have a UI folder. And if I do HCDev web, we're now running Clutter on port 4141. So let's go and have a look at what that looks like. Localhost 4141, and then we have a version of Clutter running. Now, that's great, but we can't make changes to the code and don't want to have to do HCDev web every time we do that. So what we can do is let's go and fire up Atom, which is the text editor that we installed before. Close a few of these windows down. And file, open project, apps, Clutter, open. Alright, the welcome guide, and here we have the code for Clutter. So what we're going to do now is go back to Terminal, fire up a new tab, and go back into UI source, and we're going to do NVM use 8 again. Now to stop me having to do this all the time, we can add an NVM C file, which I'll have a look at in a minute as well. Right, so we're now using the correct version, so now we can do yarn run start, and this will run up the UI part of it on port 3000, as we can see here. And here we have Clutter running on there as well. So now if we open up the development tools and go to network, you'll see that the UI is polling the back end. And if we go and look at one of these, you'll see that it's calling localhost 3000 FM. Now what's happening there is that we've told React to proxy through to 4141, and you can see that in the package file. React gives us this nice ability that if it can't find what it's looking for on its local port, it'll look on whatever port you tell it to. And this is actually a full version running of Clutter. So if we put in a handle here, and you can go back to the other one which is running, and if we refresh that, you can now see that it's actually hitting, because it's the same back-end part of Clutter, even though the UI is different. But the advantage now is that if we go into the source code, and because React, when you do create React app, which is what we've done here to set it up, when you do that and you make changes to the UI, it'll hot reload. So if we go back to new meow, which is the text box just here, and if we put in a placeholder into the text box, so we now have a placeholder in that text box. By the time we get back there, it would have refreshed. See, now we have the placeholder text here, running in the localhost 3000 one, which is the yarn run. But if we look on the one that's actually been built and running directly on the Holochain web server and refresh that, it hasn't updated because they're running two different versions. So that is how to set up for source control using Clutter from source. Thank you.